Alright, so I just got done seeing a series of unfortunate events, season 2. I just want to say that it was awesome, my dude. Okay, it was so epic. Now, I will say this, I loved season 1 a lot more. I don't know why. Okay, like that's very little complaints here with season 2. Don't get me wrong, but for some odd reason to me season 1 was one of those it was like a pleasant surprise because it wasn't like, you know, not everybody on the internet was talking about it that much. Not, it doesn't have that like presence that Stranger Things and other, Netflix shows have. But I think it's a lot better. I think it's a lot better for it because I, not to say that Stranger Things was a bad show, but since everybody was talking about it on the internet, I already kind of knew what to expect going in, and most of the surprises were, not really surprises for me. And I didn't grow up in the 80s. I did watch a lot of stuff from the 80s, so I do understand a lot of what people like about those shows, but to me I just like the style of this show. The humor of this show. Like, there's a lot of things about this show that I feel I normally don't see from other shows. And maybe that's why it's not really popular, because it really isn't trying to be like other TV shows. It's really much like a kind of like a sense of humor of what a gothic person would have. Like, it really is that it really gets a lot of stereotypes, gothic stereotypes, and a lot of cynical commentary on our society is presented through the show. Granted, in a way that really isn't that realistic, but again, it's all about the style of it. Oh crap. I don't know if I might get a copyright strike because of the whole Seinfeld. I'm watching Seinfeld right now, but let me turn it down. So, I just got done watching it on Netflix on my TV, like the very last, episodes. The Carnivorous Carnival, which is, by the way, the one book that I was like that I actually read from the series of unfortunate events, because it is a book series. It came out like around the same time as Harry Potter, so I guess in a way it is very fitting that it being that it's a show that isn't really that popular. Well, it is popular, but not as popular as other shows. It's like in the middle. Like, it's successful, but not as successful as it's like in second place. Right? Like, really, like if you ask other people about whether or not this is popular, I think they'd say that it's. I turned down the TV just to like walk into another room anyway, so I just realized that that was just unnecessary. So, yeah. Because really, what happened with a series of unfortunate events, because it came out at the same time as Harry Potter, Harry Potter took all of the attention away from a series of unfortunate events. And I think if it didn't would have come out of during that same time, I think it would have been maybe just as big as the Hunger Games is now. Like, if it would have waited a few years. But granted, maybe if it would have come out now, a Hunger Games would have, taken all of the attention away. So it isn't like, I guess it's more of a hipster type, series, whether we're talking about the books or the TV shows. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't like. I'm glad that it isn't as popular because again, me if it was, then it would have just been like Rick and Morty has become, like with a bunch of memes, and it would have been ruined with they would have focused on like the one thing, like like the one joke that this like they would have like people would see it for like the one joke that really doesn't have barely anything to do with the show, and it would I wouldn't say it would have been ruined because I still love Rick and Morty, but yeah, this show is just I like it better. I like it better than other shows. I think it's number one right now. Like anything on Netflix right now, I think this show is the one reason why I want to stick with my Netflix subscription. I think it's the one, like more than Like I do love Stranger Things. I mean, it is if you have Netflix, then you might as well watch Stranger Things. But it's Stranger Things. I don't know. Like the first season of Stranger Things, I felt more bored. And I get it, it's a slow burn, but no. Like, there's things where I say it's a slow burn, and people say it's boring or uninteresting, so. I don't know. I don't think saying that something is a slow burn is really much of a. It's really much of a, good thing, I guess. Anymore. For me, anyway, I don't know. Um. Yeah, but the second season, like I said before, I didn't like. It's not that I didn't like it, okay? Like, it was more that the second season, I struggled to, like, actually, like, engage and watch it. Like, sit down and watch each episode back to back to back. Like, I remembered in the first season, as soon as one episode ended, I wanted to see the next one right away. And, quite frankly, that is type of kind of toxic. I mean, this time around I tried to focus on other things as well. Granted, they're not really things that I think are really worth mentioning. I mean, now that I think about it, I probably could have just watched this show back to back to back instead of just, doing the other stuff that I was doing. But either way, it was a pleasant show, but there were some moments that were hard to sit through, not because they were violent or because it's just because they didn't entertain me as much. But I there aren't that many episodes this season, and just like in the first season, and it is like I think. Let me see. I think it's 4 books divided into two. It's 2 chapters each book. So yeah, and I don't know if they were a bit longer, but I think I was being a bit too I was probably asking too much for this show because they do accomplish a lot that most shows don't do, and just the feeling, the world that they create, really should be enough for me to say that it really should be enough for me to say that it's fun. Just to be in this world and to see the sense of humor that is being presented in this world, and to just see how the people in this world interact is really like a fresh breath of air, a breath of fresh air. Okay, because other TV shows don't do this. Like this really is the vision of the artist. And I've seen some comments online saying, "Oh, the books were better." I don't know. I don't know if the books were better. I haven't read the books, but I've read the plot summaries of the books so much so that I kind of already knew what was going to happen in season 2, and I also know what's going to happen in season 3. And for the most part, I read the plot summaries, and they are being very true to the plot summaries, at least. they're getting basically all of the important notes down. And I remembered seeing the Carnivorous Carnival. Like I said before, it's the only book that I read. I mean, there's other books, and from what I understand, the author of these books is an executive producer on this. He is creating the TV show. He is writing for the TV show. So, like his style and everything. Like, it's not like the movie that came out in the 2000s. I tried watching it and it's not that I don't like it. I like certain aspects of the movie because it really is what every person's fear of Hollywood when it comes to like a book adaptation or something like that. Like, because they focused on Jim Carrey and they marketed it more as a Jim Carrey movie, and they didn't really market it as how they're marketing this TV show. It's really more about the style of this TV show. That's the, the focus on it. It's really what brings me and many other fans of this TV show to it. So, and that's not what they did with the movie. They made it more as a Jim Carrey type. Oh, look here, he's being wacky. He's gonna be funny being wacky. And then they had they did have Violet, tinker and make more little inventions. I mean, granted, it's like super, exaggerated and way too so unrealistic that it's like almost like a Kids Next Door type thing. But I'd be fine with it if they would do that in this show too. Maybe they kind of have scaled that back because of the movie, because some people don't like the movie. I mean, yeah, I do wish that Violet would create more little tinkers here and there, because in the pilot we do see her do like this thing. It's like this weird little mechanical thing. But yeah, and I mean, she does, don't get me wrong, she does do a lot of things. She does invent stuff in this season. Not as much as she could, probably, but I guess it's understandable because she is on the run and everything. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I think it's a great show. People should watch it. Well, maybe if people watch it, it becomes a popular thing and everybody just starts doing what they did with Rick and Morty. So do watch it, but don't do what you guys did with Rick and Morty. Just, just leave it be. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Just watch it. Just don't express your fandom of it, Because it is a pleasant surprise. Maybe that's why I love it so much. I mean, I know I'm gonna sound like a hipster, and maybe it is more of a TV show for hipsters and for, non-normies, I guess. Outsiders, like they like to call themselves. It isn't I don't know, I think normies, though, they want something new. Like, I've been a normie before, my man. I can, admit it. I'm probably still am a normie now, in some ways, but I'm not gonna lie. There is a lot of things that I don't like about the majority of people online, like Screen Junkies fans, and like those people who just are a bunch of not sellouts, but just they just go with what everyone else is saying. They go with the majority of people. And anyone different, they oh, that's different, that's different. That can't be good because it's different. Oh, they have a different, and it's not just having a different opinion. It's not just doing anything different. They have to have everything the same as something that what Screen Junkies would do, or what Cinema Sins would do. That, if it's if it's something that a person with a lot of followers would do, that's okay. And I don't think that's I preferred YouTube back when it just had nothing but little TV I guess TV segments from like just some rando, not from like the actual. Like, it's not like I don't like it when companies promote their own crap, and like I liked seeing searching up little Family Guy things here and there, and just a little edit here and there of the, or a lot of edits, like their own little, you know, I guess YouTube poop is what they would call it. Like, that's what I liked about YouTube, and that's nostalgic to me. It's all about nostalgia now. So, I just want to say, I got a lot of moles. So, guys, you guys have a good day, and that's my thoughts on a series of unfortunate events. I can't wait for season 3. I hope everyone else watches this show. Just don't ruin it like the other shows that I just mentioned. So, have a nice day, guys.